ABC News political analyst from Washington, joins us. I wasn't too terribly surprised that Blankenship didn't win. I mean, I guess he still owns the coal company, and he went to prison for a year, and quite honestly, he's not the most articulate of individuals. Of course, then again,
No.
You never can tell what the electorate's going to do, but he did not do well at all yesterday. Last I heard when I went to bed.
Yeah, it was a surprise, Doug. I mean, he ran third in a three-person race, and he trailed badly. One of the reasons for this is that the Republican establishment in Washington was petrified of Blankenship. They thought this was the guy who would repeat history. If you look at the last 4-6 years, and people in Missouri remember this very well, when Todd Akin was nominated by the Republicans and lost the Senate seat. And that happened in Indiana, it happened in Delaware, it happened in Colorado, Nevada, where Republicans nominated someone who was either too conservative or just simply too weird to win a state election. And they thought Blankenship would really be a poor candidate against Joe Manchin. He's the incumbent Democrat in West Virginia. West Virginia is a state that Trump won easily. It's been trending Republican. They thought they had a real shot to knock off Manchin as long as Blankenship was not the nominee. And last week or two in the campaign, a lot of Washington money poured into that state attacking Blankenship. So in the end, he really couldn't stand up to that barrage. And Republicans very relieved this morning because now they have a candidate, the Attorney General, Patrick Morrisey, who is a much stronger candidate against Manchin than Blankenship would have been.
New York Times this morning, and I'll quote the first line of part of this article. The night was a near wipeout for members of the House seeking higher office. 3 Republican lawmakers lost campaigns for the Senate. Is this the big wave that we keep hearing about? Are we beginning to see it start to build before it crests come November?
Not quite. Yes, it's true that those House members, 1 in West Virginia and 2 in Indiana, lost bids to run for the Senate. But the people that the Republicans nominated were strong. Morrissey's going to be a very good candidate against Manchin. And in Indiana, yes, the 2 House members lost, but the guy who won is a man named Mike Braun. He's a very wealthy businessman, spent millions of dollars on his own campaign and is prepared to spend a lot more in the fall. He tried to cultivate an unconventional image. He refused to wear a suit during debates. He wore just a open-neck blue shirt, not even a coat. And he is a very articulate guy. And the Democratic senator there, Joe Donnelly, was one of those kind of accidental senators because 6 years ago, that was one of the states where Republicans nominated an extreme right-winger who could not win statewide. And so the bottom line is that the Republicans in both Indiana and West Virginia are in good shape this morning. They have nominated candidates who can make a real shot at these incumbent Democrats. And, of course, Republicans, as everybody knows, only have a 2-seat margin in the Senate. Several seats are in danger, Nevada and a couple of others. If they can defeat Democrats in a couple of these states, it enormously increases their odds of keeping control of the Senate. And let's remember, even if you win the Senate by 1 vote, that means you control the committees, you control the nomination process, you control the hearings. So Republicans are very pleased this morning with the results of last night, certainly in terms of their ability to keep control of the Senate.
How about the state of Ohio, which we've talked about previously? If you don't win Ohio, you don't get the presidency, and it's obviously a political powerhouse. What happened there?
Well, it was pretty much according to form. The Republicans nominated for governor John Kasich, the incumbent governor, a real gadfly who ran for the presidency last time, probably will run again against Trump 2 years. He's term limited out of office, and the Republicans nominated a very solid veteran named Mike DeWine, former senator. He was now the attorney general. Democrats nominated a man named Richard Cordray, who's made his mark as head of a consumer agency under Obama. Republicans got to be considered the favorites there. But in the Senate race, the Democrats have an incumbent senator named Sherrod Brown. And he's an interesting character. He's very liberal, but he sides with Trump on trade issues, was in favor of the aluminum and steel tariffs. has been very much a protectionist, given the job situation, loss of manufacturing jobs in Ohio. He's going to be hard to beat. The Republicans have nominated an incumbent congressman named Jim Renacci. He'll give Brown a race, but I think this morning you got to say Republicans have a much better shot in Indiana and West Virginia against incumbent Democrats than they do in Ohio.
Mr. Roberts, thank you much, as always. Appreciate
Okay,
the time. Steve Roberts, ABC News Political.